better way to put the RM32 through its paces than find some groovy drummer? Oh, hello, Robin. Didn't see you there.
Morning, Gun Hill Studios.
The first great thing I have to say about this unit and what we're going to be testing is to do with the fact that you don't even need a mixing desk to do this. Run the whole thing from an iPad or just from your laptop. I'm using an out-of-date laptop because the interface has got all the processing power. So I shouldn't need the latest uber-duber thing, I just need something with a firewire socket on it. And we've got no leads running front of house, which means we can be very liberal with how we record the drums.
A tidy studio is a happy studio.
Let's see how we get on. The consistency throughout the design is staggering. The same complete channel strip is available throughout the interface wherever you might need it. There doesn't seem to be any compromises. So I can use those channel strips front to house. I can also use the same channel strips on the monitor mixes to all the independent monitors. Although a wonderful thing on the monitor mix is you can also use a full graphic to squeak out any feedback and get as much level as possible to your singer or songwriter. The RM32 has 16 monitor mixes that can be used in a variety of ways. And that's 16 monitor mixes that don't cut in on your effect sends. Because quite often on traditional desks, your sends are either monitor mixes or reverb sends. But the RM32 has 16 monitor mixes along with 4 independent effects units. To get the same level of features, old school, you would need 2 desks for starters. You'd need a monitor desk and a main desk. You'd need a multi-core CF cabling, all of which can have a negative effect on the signal path and consequently the sound quality of your performance or recording. Let's talk about preamps. We thought we'd throw everything we possibly could at the preamps of the RM series mixer. One of the key things that I have issues with on gigs is, as a trumpet player, I use electronics, some of which was never intended for the trumpet. Good example being my Vox Crybaby pedal, which creates really harsh filter sweeps and is a fantastic way of putting a preamp to the test. The desk dealt with that without a complaint. Massive changes in EQ, all taken with a pinch of salt. And I think Matt put a little limiter on it, which is also part of the channel strip. Limiter separate from the compressor. Very important little issue that, because quite often on desks you can have one or the other. There's none of that stealing on the RM desk. Whatever you need, wherever you need it, it's all there.
Feel my body, feel my soul. Tell me there's not a change to feel alive again.
Another key thing, coming back to the monitors again, is the wonderful thing about the settings on the RM series mixers is you can copy and paste them between different areas. So if you tweak, squeak and set up a monitor to sound just right so that it can't feed back in the environment you're in, you can then take that setting and paste it onto your other monitors. If you've got, say, 3 matching monitors, that EQ shape will give you a good start point. Obviously you'll need to fine tune it, but it does save you hours basically. And not to mention the hours it saves you running backwards and forwards between a desk, front of house and stage. What does that sound like? What does that sound like? Or if you've got a small team, it's great that your sound guy can, on stage, do fine tweaks and listen to what the artist is hearing, rather than trying to achieve the same results remotely by headphones. Over the next few sessions, one of the key things we want to do is bring some different artists into the studio and address some of the issues that a unit such as this might come across. The first session we did was with Robin Guy, fantastic drummer, and we got him to play to click, whatever he liked. Then we composed some music around that, which we then overdubbed in the same environment, which was quite groovy. And then moving on from that, we got another artist in, a band called Dub Martyr, and that presented some other issues because we were doing multiple takes with that and also introducing Native Instruments machine to the melting pot, so we had to do some lines of input synced to the band, which was great. Then to really up the game, we brought in some of the key funk and ska players in the UK, all of which are used to working in and out of the studio and not used to having to wait for anything, so all of the songs within that session were single takes, so we had to be really on it, really sharp with making sure we got everything, didn't clip a file, so we recorded and treated it as a performance.
You see you come and then you leave me to wait, as if I don't have better things on my plate.
That also brought to the party multi monitors in a small area, in a very live room, trying to deal with feedback and various things, all of which the RM32 took on board without breaking a sweat.
Living proof, heaven only knows how far our love will grow. All I can say, my dear, is never easy. It's really no surprise when we see things with different eyes. All I can say, my dear, it's never easy. Oh no, it's never easy. Oh Lord, it's never easy. No, it's never easy. Hey!
Let's talk for a moment about VCA faders. The session we're doing at the moment is uber complicated. We've got drums, we've got 2 guitarists, 2 keyboard players, horn section, vocals, percussion. That uses pretty much the whole of the desk. Making all that manageable brings us to the VCA faders. Any number of faders can be assigned to a VCA group. So for instance, you've got your drums sounding right, but you're not sure whether as a whole they're too loud or too quiet. Assign all your drums to a VCA fader. Then keyboards, you've got them balanced together, both stereo, so you've got 4 channels there. Guitars, we've got DIs and mics on them, so there's another 4 channels. So all this adds up to a lot of clutter if you're not careful in what you're looking at when you're trying to make decisions. So if you get those individual areas balanced up nice, you can then assign them VCAs. So you could have a VCA, 1 fader that turns your entire drum submix up and down, 1 fader for your entire keyboards, another fader for your guitars, fader for your BVs. Then you end up with a small, manageable set of faders in front of it. And you find with that as well, with different songs, like if you've got a ballad, drummer's playing quietly, you can just poke up the drums a little, pull it back down when he kicks in. Magic! VCA faders can also be automated, and the automation can be recorded within Studio One. It might seem crazy to be really excited about a 4U rack device, but you've got to put this into perspective. We've spent years and years in and out of the studio, running cables left, right and centre, degrading sound, running cables left, right and centre. The multi-core and some gigs would cost you more than this device. So you're keeping that signal short, and you can read user groups, pages and pages of people arguing about which interface is best, which this is best, which that, and which gets the biggest audio spectrum. But put that into perspective, the biggest difference is keeping those cables short. That will make more difference than all the 96K yardy yardy blardy yardy. Just keep the cables short. That's what it's about. So we've got short cabling, all our brains stays on stage. We can control the whole thing from the stage with any tablet or your laptop. It remembers all your settings when you switch it off. If you're on tour with a band, for instance, turn up at the following gig, you've just got to tweak it for the new venue. It will already have all your settings in-house, which can also be backed up incidentally, and saved should you want to use it on another unit.
It's never easy. Never easy. Oh my Lord, it's never easy. I said it's never easy. No. I said never.
I mean, mean, let's get this point across. I wouldn't be raving about this kit if I didn't like it. This is about producing kit that democratises the recording of music and allowing songwriters and bands to all work on an even platter. The key thing that I'm loving is the fact that I haven't looked in the manual yet. And if it's specs you're after when you're watching these videos, there's plenty of other videos for that. You can go to the site, there's all sorts of stuff. That wasn't what we were trying to do here. What we were trying to do is give you a broad overview of the equipment in a real life situation. Nothing sterile, this is stuff that actually happened. We're going to bring you a few tracks, pretty much all mixed either on the RM desk or in Studio One, and on top of that, all recorded through the RM32 mixer. Thanks for watching, catch you again soon. Take care.